What the fuck is going on, everybody? So good to see you. I like coming out like a bullet. Oh yeah. And my this thing takes so long to load that sometimes I'm like, did it? Like, was I just standing there staring before anything even happened? Guys, so good to see you. I have a terrific show tonight, as I always do. But this guest is someone I'm so fucking excited about. Just truly one of the greatest friends I've got going on right now. Let's look this bad boy up, and we're going to make sure that all of your remember, share, like, comment, all that kind of stuff. We're going to be open to all sorts of questions today. I think this is going to be really good for you guys because it's not just like a writer or an anchor or someone we've talked to before. This is very different. So let's edit that audience. It's public. Now everyone should be able to see it. Like I said, like, comment. There he is, Brian fucking Manel. Good to see you, dude. So great. We're hitting Facebook, we're hitting YouTube, we're doing it all. I'm super excited. Fantastic. We have a terrific friend of mine coming up tonight. She is a podcaster. She has done so much. I should have asked her more. We just hung out before, like for like 20 minutes or so, just shot the shit and hung out. So I probably should have asked more about what she does because I've been on her shows and all that kind of stuff. And it was about time I reciprocated, by the way, and had her over here in the in Chuck's little world. So yeah, man, super ecstatic. We're just gonna have a blast tonight. So I think you guys are gonna be have a good time with it because she's an interviewer. She's an excellent interviewer. And she's interviewed some really big people. Dude, I got to watch her, my friend, my dear friend, talk to Tommy fucking Chong. Like, that was awesome. And by the way, dude was a sweetheart, and he was flirting like a motherfucker. I'm like, she's more than half your age. Good for you, dog. That's great. So, dude, just fantastic. Super excited. So, when you guys go out on the road, like I'm doing basically tomorrow, to push your books, your Kickstarters, your whatever, we're going to give you lots of great tips and tricks so that you can make the best of your interviews. So, without further ado-dos, why don't we just make this fucking thing happen and have a blast?
Canadian bacon is actually really good, and it's nothing like normal bacon, and it's better than ham, which you guys seem to call Canadian bacon. I'm very good at writing. I write very well. Yeah, it's shop talk.
Do some of your audience members like the word fuck? Cool. Then I'm going to keep saying fuck. Because I care.
Is that your first time seeing that?
No, it's not, but it's funnier like right before you go live.
You know what's great? Eric made that.
Eric is so talented.
I know, right?
Talented. And is he here to hear this right now as we like puff him up, Eric?
I don't know. I know he wanted to. And I know that he'll come back and watch it on the replay. So you're good for that at the very least.
Okay. You heard it, Eric.
Well, and Eric Cockrell is how you and I met. Oh, Tom's Comic Books and Reviews. Nice to meet you. Nice to see you, man.
Tom.
This is my good friend, Jess Rogge. She is an amazing podcaster, interviewer. What else? What other terms, adjectives would you throw up there?
I don't know. Radio host?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's kind of the catch-all for it, right?
Right. That's that's how you and I met. It's funny. I actually saw the little. There was an advertisement for. Hello, Sylvain. Very nice to see you.
Sylvain is my good friend and from
that's awesome.
my show. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So what's up, Sylvain?
So we met because I edited Dulce, and Eric was supposed to go on the show with his partner to talk about Dulce, and his partner was like, "I can't, man. Sorry, I got some stuff came up." And he said, "Hey, Chuck, you're the man. Do you want to do this?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll come and chat. Like I'm totally all about that." and we just had a great time, and
Awesome.
we've been doing this ever since.
So
Do you remember? You used to have a show. It was an all-female like Fringe show, and
yes.
one of the co-hosts wasn't there, and we were interviewing Eric.
Oh, this was great. That was our best thing ever.
And they delightfully said, "Would you be one of us for the night?" And I was like, "I'll go all out." Yeah, I had, and now I'm trying to remember. I had a fucking wig and
Wig, an old lady hat, like it had flowers on it. I think it was like a straw hat.
so
And, it was great because we had Eric on, right? And Eric's like sitting there. I'm like, okay, Eric, well, we have a guest co host today, and she's going to be joining us in just a moment. And Chuck pops on, full beard, but like with the wig and the hat on, and he's all, hello, Mrs. Doubtfire. Eric probably shit himself laughing. He thought it was the funniest thing. The clip I think is on my Facebook page, guys.
oh, dude,
On the Jess Rogge show. It should be called Eric Meets Chucktoria.
that's right, because I was Victoria. Yes. Oh, so dude, so we've had tons of fucking fun. Jess is honestly one of the easiest people to sit down with. Can she give me an interview? Dude, that is one of the big reasons why she's here. So I'll
Yes.
get that out right now. I'm about to go on a month-long tour pushing Belial 3
Nice.
all over the internet.
I got it here somewhere. I got Belial 1 here.
So you can get all of them tomorrow. They hit Kickstarter tomorrow, and I'm going to be on all the shows, hitting everywhere I possibly
You're
can.
pushing hard?
Oh yeah. I think I already have over. I think we're only on for like 28 days, and I already have more than 10, 12 shows like set up, and more will come. And then if there's a day, well, and that's not including doing my own show at the same time as well. So yeah, one of the great reasons for having Jess here is that Jess can give all of us some great tips and tricks for not only being a good guest, but also for being a good host.
Yes.
So let's just like push all that stuff aside. Let's right away, in your mind, what makes a good guest?
A good guest is someone who has a rapport with you. Because here's the thing, too. Here's something that people don't tell you. Somebody who's a good guest on someone else's show might not be a good guest on your show. Because you have to have a good rapport with the person, right? A good guest knows what they're talking about and doesn't pause a long time, because your goal is to get somebody who can speak and isn't scared too. And knowledgeable, whatever the topic is, you want to make sure they're knowledgeable about it. Like I've done this, and you can also make this mistake, and just somebody will reach out to you and you'll just say, sure, come on my show. But if you don't look into their background and see who they are, you could get, somebody who is not a good guest. And a good guest too, there's back and forth. You don't really want somebody who's going to speak for 30 minutes straight.
Yeah.
Right?
No. Yeah. Oh, dude. 1,000%. I've dealt with all of those people you mentioned.
And then you see your face, because this happens to the interviewer. Then all of a sudden they're like,
and your wheels are spinning like, where do I find the spot for me to get in there? And because you don't want to be rude. And so you often end up letting them go a lot longer than they should, because you're trying to find that perfect segue, but motherfucker won't shut up.
And it happens constantly, because now the show I do has a break every 30 minutes. So I tried before we start. I think one of my biggest tips too, and Chuck did this, so Chuck is a good interviewer, is when you can do a couple things. You can set up a pre-interview, especially for somebody you don't know. Somebody you've never spoken to before. Set up a phone call or a video call for about 15 to 30 minutes. Hi, Wendy. Good to see you. And that will get you a little bit of a rapport going. Also, you can, do like me and Chuck did tonight, is also to meet about 20 minutes before the show, just kind of warm up, get to talking. A cold guest is a harder guest to interview. somebody you're just, and it's happened to me sometimes, especially if you're live. Sometimes they come in right before and you don't have much of a choice. And every little bit of prep you do behind the scenes, it shows in your work when you do your interview. And sometimes you're not going to be able to do that prep, and sometimes you're going to get lucky and it's going to be a good show. But 9 times out of 10, you really, really, really hi, Kieran. Oh, it's so nice.
So many good people.
I know, it's so awesome. But yeah, I mean, prep. You know, you can do, there's a couple styles. You can like write out full questions if you want, or talking points if you know that there's subjects that you want to hit upon. Being natural. I mean, I could keep going, Chuck. Where do you want this to go? Tom, do you have a specific area where you want me to focus?
Well, and are you talking about you as the interviewer, Tom? Are you talking about you being interviewed? I mean, yeah, all that stuff matters. It was funny when you were talking about the person who goes on forever. I had one of those, and the guy said to me afterwards, he said, "You know, no offense, I was kind of waiting for you to jump in." And I said, "Well, then why didn't you fucking breathe?" Because
man.
Yeah, I said, "Motherfucker, you didn't shut the fuck up. There was no point where I could jump in. You went into this lecture."
I've gone like, excuse me.
Right? Oh yeah, okay. So he's talking about him being the interviewer. Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah. We can definitely go over that.
Yeah, and if you have any questions in particular that I can address, you know, that's good too. So Chuck.
Well, I was going to say, Tom, do you have any weak spots?
Mm.
I had so my partner on Belial, Sean Barbour, again launching tomorrow. If anybody wants to drop the follow link, by all means, go ahead. But and by the way, if you guys have any others, like Tom, obviously you do your reviews and stuff. Kyron, I know you have your own show too. Guys, whatever you do, put it in the links. Tell us all about it. Share your links. You got Kickstarters. You're selling something. You got a podcast. You got a YouTube channel. I don't give a shit.
My podcast,
right?
Podcast.
Check out Fringe FM, like all that kind of shit, guys. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I know I was going somewhere. Oh yeah. So Sean Barbour, he had tried to do an impromptu live by himself, and he's like, I don't do that very often. And I was like, good. And he said, I don't think it went great. And I was like, good. Keep doing it. And he said, what do you mean? I said, doing the impromptu lives by yourself. That's kind of how I cut my teeth. Is I did a lot of like those live by yourself. That's scary. Like. Right? It's super fucking, because there's no fucking net. It's you.
There's no net.
And yeah.
It's just you.
Yeah. And what's nice is we've got, like all these amazing people here. I love you, lady. Who are giving, so hopefully there's people out there you can chat with. If there's no one, great. No one's watching you. That's almost better than having people and not knowing what the fuck to say. So just get out there, have an idea of what you want to do. Oh, look, Cam, nice to see you. Nice to see you, buddy. Jess is a great podcaster and interviewer and radio host. Please, guys, if you have any questions, go ahead and ask. Like either being a good guest or being a good interviewer. Go ahead. Yes. But yeah, no, I was just saying, go live on your own. Throw yourself to the wolves. It's a big help. But what were you gonna say? Because this is you.
Yeah, I was going to say, I recently had a tragedy in my family, right? But I wasn't ready to go back to doing the radio. But, the station owner was like, Jess, it's been 2 months. You have to come back, or you should come back. He was very nice about it. But I said, but Joe, I don't have anything prepared for tonight. I've been off for 2 months. And at first I didn't want to do it because I hadn't done Jack in 2 months. But I think going on there by myself, just raw and that was the best way for me to get back into it. I was scared. Typically I'll spend up to, gosh, guys, I'll tell you the truth. Sometimes I'll spend up to 8 hours or more working on an episode before it goes live. So for me to do absolutely no prep and go live was very nerve-wracking. Even like me, I've been doing this for years. Typically when I go live alone, I have prep, I've got notes, I've got things to fall back on, but that was going on completely, and I did it again last night, just went on, I had nothing. And that is something that if you do it like Chuck says, that's the best way to cut your jib. I don't know, what did they say?
I say cut your teeth.
Cut your teeth.
Yeah.
It's the best way. It's honestly the best way. And I always tell people, just do it, because there's 1,000 other people doing it. Why don't you just jump in and do it? You're going to get better. You're not going to get worse.
Oh yeah, fuck up. I mean, why not, right? Like that's definitely how you're going to learn.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would say, and tell me if I'm wrong, probably your biggest interview was Tommy Chong, correct? Like, am I
correct? And he's come on twice, and he's coming on again with his
Oh.
wife.
Oh shit.
Comedy, yeah. He's my homie now.
Oh, dude.
Not really, but like at least we're friendly enough to where he said last time I talked to him, he said, next time me and Shelby are coming on, I want to talk to you about comedy. I made that fucker laugh, dude. I made him laugh, which made me. If you can make Tommy Chong like really laugh from something you say, you're just like. I was like, I'm a comedian. I can be a comedian now.
If you ever need a co-host for that episode, just let me know. I'll be there to fucking.
Chuck's just like,
oh yeah.
Do you know how nice this man was? And then I'll tell you guys about how to get the big guest. So do you know how nice he was? My sister came over and she said, well, before when she knew, she said, can I come over and just watch you interview Tommy Chong? And so when he came on, this is the first time I met him. And I said, Mr. Chong, he said, don't call me that, call me Tommy. He doesn't like Mr. Chong. He's a Tommy guy. But he said, of course. He said, does she want to come over and say hi? And this man, he only really, these big celebrities, when you get them A-listers and stuff, they're going to give you a limited amount of time and you have to work on their time. Mm-hmm. That is number one tip. So knowing I only had an hour with him, I was like, I guess you could talk to her real quick, But he sat and talked with her for about 10 minutes. And like, she was just over the moon happy with how sweet he was, and that just showed me like what a good dude he was. So how do you get these big guests? That's actually the question, right? How do you get these guests?
Yeah.
You guys right now, how I did it is I was really genuine with my message. I told him about myself, any impact that he had on me and my career, any inspiration I got from him, just real genuinely, like, and how much it would mean to me to be able to speak to him. And I shit you not, I got a message back really quick. Now I can get him on like almost like within 2 weeks usually.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, and that's for Fringe, right?
Yeah, that's for Fringe FM. I have him on the Fringe FM, yeah.
So what do you like? I mean, isn't Fringe mostly like aliens, ghosts, all that kind of stuff, or
well, it's everything Fringe, and that's the common misconception. It's just paranormal and aliens, but it's everything Fringe. Like now, we talk a lot about plant medicine, and that includes things like cannabis and mushrooms, and that touches Tommy. Tommy is into the cannabis. We talk about
get the fuck out of town.
Yeah, I'm like, he smoked weed. But we talk about, Tommy talks about a lot of spiritual stuff, and we got into the thing is, you guys haven't heard the last episode. It only played live on the Fringe because I interviewed him and then my mom passed away the next day, so I never added an intro or anything. So it was released on the Fringe where it just went straight into the interview. But now I lost my point because Eric Cockrell jumped in the chat there and was like, hey, love you gals. So I lost my train of
talking about the big guests.
The big guest, yeah. And then another big guest I got was last year. There was this book that came out from Dr. Avi Loeb, who was the head of Harvard's astronomy program, and now he runs the Galileo program, which is for astronomers to start tracking like unidentified objects in space. That's been his big thing. If you remember that big that big thing that went through our solar system, Oumuamua, maybe, I don't know, 10 years ago now, but it was the first interstellar object to enter our solar system. So this dude's book came out, right? And I saw him on Rogan, right? And I was like, I'm going to email him. And I did. I just emailed him. I told him, same thing, you have to be very kind. And, you don't necessarily have to puff them up, but, be genuine with why you want to talk to them, and what you think, that brings to you and your guests and your listeners. Usually you say, like, this is something my listeners would really enjoy. This is something that we cover, things like that. So it's really about being genuine, because there are a lot of fake people out there. So if you're genuine and send your emails out, I do recommend emails versus social media, especially for big people. Don't comment on their social media like, yo, Tommy Chong, come on my podcast. There's more formal ways to do it. And that's the thing too, since this space is so saturated now with people, right? Being professional and being courteous really stands out.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense.
And you guys can buy my course. I'm gonna put together a course.
I was gonna say you should have a course. That'd be a really good idea, actually.
I'm gonna put together a course now, guys.
I think you should. I would watch it, and I would buy it.
Chuck's like, we'll come back on the show and I'll sell it. I'll be like, buy my course.
Fuck yeah, hell yeah. Kyron has any tips on improving segues? I would say improv. Like take improv courses. I mean, that's where I started comedically and whatnot, like in high school and leaving high school is improv, and that's where I cut my teeth. And so I feel like that's why I get to where I'm able to do these a little bit better, is because I can always go back to improv. You can always just kind of, you learn how to create things off the top of your head. But even just improv is the simple idea of yes and accept what's going on, and then let's play with it. So whatever they got going on, grab it, play with it, and move on to your next thing. That's now the pro.
No, it's good the way you explain it, because what I do is, I list, like, I guess technically, okay, so Chuck gives you the overall idea. So technically, right, so Chuck's talking about something and I'm listening to what he's talking about. Okay, I hear it, right? And okay, so I can take part of what he's saying and repeat that to him. And then, like Chuck is saying, yes, and then we connect that, right? And then we say, okay, there's the next thing. There's things you can do too, but it kind of makes it stop if you say something like, let's switch gears. Now this. Having a smoother transition makes the whole thing kind of roll better. Sometimes you have to. Sometimes you're like, okay, this has been talked to death. We have to.
Yeah. Well, and you can take one word that it said, just use the term speaking of.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like they say one word. Speaking of plants.
Yeah. Speaking of
whatever. And yeah. And you can go with that. But you're right. Like even the term switching gears, immediately it makes me think you're about to fuck everything up. Like And as soon as I hear that, I go, oh great, where are we going now? Like where are
we going now? Because we could go
I feel off balance.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that makes, so I guess part of it too is how, I guess I'm going to go here. How do you make somebody feel comfortable? A guest. That's part of it too.
Well, I mean, that was like for me, and you've already seen this, I do that before the interview starts. I'll take the 2 minutes and go, hey man, we don't I usually don't talk about politics or religion. Is there anything else you don't want to talk about? Blah, blah, blah. And I'll almost always start it off like that. And then I'll tell them about and you've been through this with me already, but I'll tell people we have the private chat. If you need to do anything, it's just between you and I. No one else will ever see it. As soon as this thing disappears, so does that chat. So you can say whatever the fuck you want. And I think them knowing, hey, I've got your back, I would say you know what? There's certain, and I'm interested to hear who yours are. There's certain interviewers that I watch because I love how they deal with guests.
Yes.
For me, one of the greatest interviewers right now is Sean Evans from Hot Ones.
Oh, shot in the yes. I do enjoy
Dude,
those.
he is. You know what? So many people are like it's all about the hot wings. No, no, the hot wings is a fucking gimmick. But he
It's
could make that thing work without the gimmick. Like he is such a good interviewer. He and the fact that he sits there and does the wings with you, he's taking the pain the whole time, and he's hurting too with you. It's so important, and I think
yes.
that's the thing is that yeah, you need to understand, guys, that you're putting whoever you're interviewing into a very like you're digging into them and
Mhm.
that it can be a very difficult thing. So sometimes maybe reveal something about yourself that's uncomfortable in order to help them deal with whatever situation you're going to talk about next. You know,
Mhm.
what about
Like
you? Like,
I was gonna say, like what I do a lot is I'll relate a story, like you're saying, and it shows I'm a human, I'm a person, and then I kind of do something, like depending on what it is. Like if I have a guest where I want to get them talking, and I'll say, I'll talk about, oh, I read your book, bring up something about the book. Is there a story related to that, to my personal, that I can tell? Yes. And it really helps the conversation to go, especially if you have a guest and they don't give you your book. And this is talking about comic books, any book, they need to give you a book or
mhm.
you can't talk about it. And I've had so many guests not even send me a PDF. I have no idea what the book's about. I've only got a couple paragraphs and then it's a horrible interview. So make sure you get the book. Sorry. Side
Yeah,
note.
no, 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 that's brilliant. That's so dead on. And as someone who has been interviewed, anytime someone comes out with a nugget from any of the stuff I've worked on or whatever, like I had somebody start to go, "Hey man, I read your book and it really made me feel this way when this happened," and I was like, "Oh fuck, impressed as shit," because most of these, grassroots podcasters, which a lot of us are, they're not going to give a shit. This is an hour out of their life. They'll come in, they'll do the show, and they'll walk away. But this show could be the show that gets you that big guest. This
Yeah.
show, like how you conduct yourself here, it could turn out that they like. I did an interview with Raven Gregory, great dude from Xenoscope, and he had such a fucking blast. He's been sending me all sorts of great people. He got me in contact with Matt Hawkins from Top Cow, and also, dude, the guy's
Nice.
amazing. And it was just good. I love Raven. I think he's terrific. But just us having a good time led to all sorts of great stuff. So treat every guest like it's going to turn into something big.
Exactly, because every guest ends up being a connection or kind of a friend. Like a lot of my guests are people that I have known for years that were originally I came on their show or they came on my show and now they've become my regular guests and they're my favorite. And so it's like you develop relationships. But that's not everybody. That's me and that's probably Chuck too. That you develop relationships. Some people it's just like blow and go. They're like guest, guest, guest. You never hear from them again. And there's some guests and some interviewers same way. They don't really care to keep the relationship going. But the people that you connect with, you developed a huge network, and then that allows you to make connections to other people. So, like Chuck says, number one thing is like always just try to be professional off always, be courteous and always be respectful. I mean, it'll get you a lot of places.
Yeah. Now, who are some of your interviewing? Like who are the people that you look up to? Who you and what is it about them that really excites you?
A lot of the people, God, Chuck, it's hard because I don't listen to a lot of people anymore.
Well, but there's got to be people in the past and whatnot.
Oh yeah, I mean before I listened, I mean honestly I listened to people like Stern who was very shocky, so I don't do that. But I listened to, Rogan too. I like that Rogan is very casual and he's like, "Yeah, well, what about the Anunnaki?" or something like that. That's kind of his style. So man, did you hear like we never went to the moon? So I find him fun, but a lot of lately I've been listening to a lot of friends, friends who've been in industry a little bit longer and kind of listening to them. And like I listened a lot to Lighting the Void with Joe Roop on my station. He goes on before me, and he owns a station and he has a great show. And things he does is he really he connects with the audience. It's very you and him when you hear him talking, and when he has a guest on it, no matter, even if he's never talked to them, it sounds like they've known each other forever. And I enjoy that. I think
That's badass. I like that.
yeah, so I try that. I try to do that. Chuck. I try to be friendly. I mean, not try. I mean, I'm just kind of myself.
Yeah.
I'm not like, oh, I gotta be friendly.
I mean, I think some of us, and I'm sure we've all see, look at this. giving the flex love to Joe. Yeah, I mean, and I think sometimes, like with some guests, you also have to work a little harder. Like with you and I, we already knew we were gonna have a fucking good show. Like it was already foretold. You know what I mean? Like we just knew.
Yeah, we knew. I knew I didn't have to do anything, and Chuck probably knew I could just come on and we could riff and be totally fine.
Yeah, I really did very little prep for this because I know you so well, and I knew we were just gonna have a blast. And I actually felt like, knowing you as well as I do, if I did any prep, it would almost, I felt like it would make it feel a little more wooden. You know what I mean? Like we'd be like having a good time, and then suddenly I'd have to look at my notes and be like, so anyways.
Let's change gears a little bit here.
Right?
I heard you talk about UFOs.
When do you? I know that at one point you were kind of, speaking of changing gears. See what I did there, guys? I used both. Speaking of changing gears, you talked about you had been like really doing like a lot of the aliens and all that kind of stuff. Are you moving away from that a lot more, or is it still very much bread and butter for you? Like,
so Chuck. So I'm at my soul. We connected because we're both artists, right? And we're like, I'm not going to sell my soul for something, right? And I saw that and I was getting burnt on UFOs, to be honest. So any of you guys are watching from the UFO community, I was getting burnt on it, and people were like, "But Jess, they're getting big," and I'm like, "Well, fuck that. I don't want to fake my enthusiasm for something because it's getting big." That is the artist in me, and I was like, fuck that shit.
You know what you remind me of? You remind me of Jon Stewart.
I'm Jon Stewart.
And here's why. Jon Stewart left The Daily Show in fucking 2016 just as Trump was about to go. And there was so many people who were like,
it would have been ripe for the picking.
Dude, he was the perfect guy to go up against Trump. The perfect, look, nothing against Trevor Noah. Trevor Noah's done a terrific job.
He's great. Trevor Noah's great, but he's different. He's different.
Absolutely, he is. And it would have been great to see peak fucking Jon Stewart up against that administration. It would have been so much fun. And he was like, no, guys, I don't fucking have it in me anymore. And I respect the shit out of that. I really do. And I like that you two were like, look, I get it. I mean, there's so much, and there is. I'm seeing more and more about it, and it's coming mainstream. And you're like,
it's mainstream. Just like, fuck that guy. It's just because I have really gone to the point of there's nothing there that can make, like, there has to be something monumental for me to want to look into it again. Monumental, like something I never heard of or seen something. But other than that, like, I started making this shift, I don't know, more than a year ago. And it was weird, Chuck, because as I tried to say to people, I don't want to cover UFOs anymore. I'm very, very tired of it. There's nowhere for me to go with this anymore. I've gone down the weird path. I've gone down the nuts and bolts path. I've gone down the spirit. I've gone down all the paths I could think of. And it's burnt out for me. I'm no longer in. There's nothing. And, from time to time, like, so I guess is this a lesson? What do you do when you're branded as something, that you are so branded and connected to something, and you're trying to change without losing your audience? Because essentially this is what happened to me. I had gained a following because of my UFO-ness, because I was covering UFOs, and there's certain people that only want to see that content, whatever content it is you do, whatever niche it is you do. But you could want to move, you could want to change, and you just have to.
I think that's why it all comes back to what we talked about at the very beginning, and that is you have to have a fucking personality. Like you
You
have
have
to be genuinely interesting and interested and having a good time, because at the end of the day, all that shit's gonna dry up. Eventually you're gonna get bored of something. It fucking happens, and all you'll have is you. You know, and I mean, think of it like fucking clothes. Eventually, fashion's gonna change. You're gonna hate what the fuck you're wearing, and you're like, cool. It's time to get dressed. It's time to get naked. It's time to do something. Like, I gotta change this shirt up. It feels like shit. So yeah, man, I think it's just about being, and it's not like you have to force yourself to be interesting, but you have to find the qualities in you. Like for me, I'm not wearing the fucking hat right now. I have my um, give a fuck Chuck hat, and
Nice.
I end every show by saying my name is Chuck and I give a fuck, and it is about I care, I love you guys, I'm here to have fun. We're here to find out about the person we have in front of you, also the people who are out there talking to us. So
Yes.
I think as long as you're able to find that thing that makes you tick, that allows you to connect with both your audience and your guest, then it doesn't fucking matter what you're talking about. Like, what's your big, I mean, what are you segueing into right now?
Right now, what we're segueing into, and if you saw at the beginning of last year, I did change the show to Escape the Simulation, which is kind of in line with what we're doing now, is talking more about, the reality that we live in and seeing beyond, seeing that there's so much more in the world. We talk a lot more about plant medicine now, like psychedelics, mushrooms. I've been doing some plant, I guess you would kind of call it plant medicine because I do it in meditation. I don't do
Hmm?
it recreationally. Um, Also, and I've talked a lot about the spiritual changes and how that shifted me, as well as, we talk now. I talk to people who do remote viewing. I talk to shamans. I talk to pagan priestess. It's just really about showing and talking to these people that have had these experiences that show like there is a lot more to this world, our consciousness. It's not just, and really, I think as I moved out of UFOs, I also moved out of paranormal stuff, because when Chuck met me, I was very UFO-y, very paranormal, very cryptid minded. But now, after doing this for a few years, and this is with anybody, you like Chuck was saying, going back to finding out who you are. When I
Yeah,
came into this, I wasn't fully me. I was just kind of doing this person. And as I got more comfortable, it became more me, and my personality came out more. And that only came
yeah.
with practice and being comfortable on camera and being
It-
comfortable speaking.
It's funny because Tom says, "I'm going to tell you about me. I'm a shy person."
So let me tell you a secret, Tom. I am very shy. I am very socially awkward in person. But here on camera, you put a camera and a microphone in, I'm fine. You ask me to talk to 10 people, I'll fall to the ground in a ball and like hide. But here, I've gotten comfortable, Tom, and you can too. A couple of the tips are, it does feel like you're talking to yourself, and that's weird, right? When you're sitting at home and talking to yourself. So one thing I can recommend, and one thing me and Chuck did a lot too, is we had a shit ton of video calls back in the day. We just sit
Hmm.
there and bullshit, because that's all this is. Get on a video call with a friend. Get used to your mug being on the camera. Get used to seeing your face. Get used to talking like this. This is the best tip I can give you.
Yeah. No, oh, dude, 1,000%. Yes. And you say you're a shy person. We don't get to be shy here.
You don't get to be
Yeah,
shy.
it's
You
it's
have
not
to.
an option. Yeah.
Like me and Chuck, we got yeah. You gotta, like, even if this charisma I have, it's got to come out for the show. When you're talking to me normally, I don't move this much. It's a little exaggerated for the camera. But Chuck's gonna laugh because when he finally meets me, he's gonna see I actually do move this much while I talk.
I mean, it won't matter 'cause the first thing that happens when I see you is a big fucking hug,
Big
a
hug.
big huge hug. Yes, absolutely. Um, yeah, man, we don't get to be shy here. Yeah, and I mean, trying like she gave you tons of great tips, and even earlier, like I said, do live shows by yourself. Also, if it helps, those numbers up in the corner that tell you how many viewers,
I'll
it's a
look at it.
fucking number. It doesn't mean, yeah, either don't look at it. You can probably have it removed.
And I tell you what, Chuck, a lot of the times it's wrong. I think it's wrong because when I look at the view numbers immediately after, it does not reflect the number
Hmm.
that I see up there. And it'll say like less people in there, but then you'll see the chat room is going off. You're like, how does that even make sense? The
Yeah,
counter, don't look at it. Don't ever look at the counter.
yeah, it's yeah, and honestly, it's a number. It doesn't fucking mean anything. They can't react to you like like you get to ignore the chat if you want. I really suggest not. In fact, if you're gonna do this properly, I feel like you need to be hitting that chat as often as you can, and like you have calling
I have call-ins,
people.
yeah, live
Yeah,
call.
dude, I gotta
You
fucking call
should
in
come
one day.
on one Friday, Chuck, and take calls with me.
A
Would
hundred,
you
dude. I'm there. Like seriously, you
do
pick a
it?
night. I would love to be there.
I think you can come on this Friday.
Let me make sure I don't have anything. But yeah, yeah, I'd fucking
Take
be all
calls
about
with
that.
me. We'll
How much do I
bullshit.
have to watch my mouth?
You can't. This is the thing, which
I can not swear.
you not
It's a true.
like. This is what I say. Since it's so late, and I don't know if Joe agrees with me, I say you can use them as like your like cilantro, or just the little thing, just like cilantro. Not don't use it like the cheese or something.
For me, it's meat. Like
I know. I'm trying to think like, because Chuck cooks a lot. Chuck's like a chef, so
yeah, fuck
so
it's
as
my protein.
so fuck is not the protein. It's more of like the garnishment. It's that little sprig. So use it because I want them to be valuable on the radio. I want them to.
Yeah, I can absolutely. I've done it before, and I have shows now and then where like I'll be interviewing someone for a children's book or whatever, and so I'll tell everyone ahead of time, guys, I'm gonna watch my language on this one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna watch my language because we got. You never know if we have kids coming on to watch the show or whatever. So this one I will watch. Um, so yeah, but I
Because
still run the same intro. So
I love the intro. If you guys didn't catch that intro, you should catch it.
now,
But no,
Wendy.
me and Chuck
Oh,
what'd you say? Go no, I was gonna say me and
I don't
Chuck,
know.
we used to curse up a storm on these
Mhm.
shows. Curse up a storm. Fuckity fuck fuck fuck.
Oh yeah, let me look into Friday. I'm so excited to do something.
Can you
Um,
stay up that late? I think it's like 1 for you.
oh, that's even better because if I do have actually yeah, so I believe Saturday I don't work until the afternoon. So yeah, that'd be yeah
Okay.
yeah yeah. I'm all about yeah okay yeah. Afterwards the show, let me know. I'm so down for that.
Yeah,
Wendy
yeah,
says
no,
I think that's why some people are so afraid to brand themselves. It's too scary to think of changing that brand at some point.
okay, so let's go back to my show. Okay, Chuck's known me. Okay, Chuck's like Jess has changed her show name like 100 billion times. When Chuck met me, I had the Multiverse Maidens, and that was
Mhm.
with my sister and Stacy. And then that shifted when it separated, and I tried to figure out a name. So I was like Multiverse Maiden. I tried a couple of things that never stuck. And then I came up with the Rogie Report. I was like, I have a newsy background. Maybe I'll just go with Rogie Report. My last name. It's an alliteration. It's catchy. People will love it, right? But here's what happened with the Rogie Report. Once I shifted from covering like UFOs and doing the nuts and bolts thing, it was hard to talk. I wanted to start talking to more spiritual people, more people that were kind of, doing these doing different things out there, like I said, like remote viewing and things like that. And the Rogie Report just didn't fit that because I was also doing a news segment called the Rogie Report for the Fringe FM. So when I got a 2-hour show, Joe suggested if I
2 hours.
wanted to change, yeah, because first I only had an hour show on the station, right? It was on Wednesdays from 6 to 7 p.m. And so I campaigned to get 2 hours. And then once I got that, I changed the show to Escape the Simulation. And so that way it was open more for me to start talking to, all kinds of different people because anything is escaping the simulation, whether it's like, talking about, I don't know, a shadow person or a different dimension. It's opening your mind to other things in the world. So Then when I got 5 nights a week, I talked to Joe, and Joe was like, Jess, you should think about changing the name of your show. And I said, well, Joe, I want to talk about so many different things. What do I do? So at that point, we talked and we thought about it. And he said, well, why don't you just call it the Jess Rogge Show? Because that way you can cover whatever the fuck you want. It's your goddamn show. So titling. So I've never wanted to be like the Jess Show or the UFO blankety blank show or the ghost blankety blank show. I know they say going into a niche is good, which is great. But it's also, if you want to be more open, you have to just pick something that is a little more open. Like Chuck Shop Talk. Chuck can talk to me. He can talk to a comic book creator. He can talk to an artist. He can talk to anybody who's talking shop, basically.
I got to talk to a leather worker once, which was awesome.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. He was so cool. Yeah, I love the dude.
You got to find some really cool people to talk to, Chuck. That's cool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was a lot of fun. Dude, so many. Okay, so Sean's here. I talk to myself anyways. Yeah, no, that's huge.
Good. That's perfect. Yeah. Talk to yourself. You should hear me on the dog walks in the morning. Because one thing I try to do too, and this is an exercise, right? You narrate while you're walking, just like, okay, now I'm sitting here in my room. The TV is to the left of me. I've got the air conditioner on. It's running. I can hear the hum in the background. I can smell the coffee. Just kind of like talking about different things and practicing, just kind of narrating and just pulling shit out of your ass. Because a lot of the time you're going to be there and you're going to be like, shit, I forgot what I was talking about. Or I just totally forgot what Chuck said. So now I got to pull something out of my ass just because, that's the human brain. It's not your fault. It just happens.
We get those little like pothead brain farts where it's just like, oh, fuck. And I've had to say it out loud before, like, sorry, dude. I have no idea what just happened.
I have no idea. But
it's refreshing.
But I have a stoner tip for that.
Ooh, my stoner
tip for that is because I have to take breaks. So I try to remember I used to try to remember what I was talking about before we went on break. So now I keep a little notepad and I just jot down like a couple words. Okay, this is what we're talking about. So when we come back or when the next question is, okay, so you're not so like, you got hypnotized by just watching, So it's good to be a little active and sometimes jot down a couple words as they're speaking.
Smart. That's really smart. Steph says, kids watching the show, you have like 3 viewers. This was a night where I had 4 viewers, so that's what happened there.
You got 4?
yeah, that was. What else do we got going on? So many people convert all swear words into food groups. What the baloney is that? And you know what?
Ooh,
you could do that.
Ooh, that's pretty good. You know what I do? I don't bleep myself, but I'll drop the word. Like, oh man, and then I'll just drop that.
Dude, I don't know anyone else who does that. I do things that I'm like, dude, this is such fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
No, this is such fucking bull. And I can't believe you would put up with that kind of shit from that motherfucker right there. And like, drop the swear words out. It's so much fun. And people are like, I know what you're saying. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not saying it. That's on you.
That's on you. No, that's the best way to do it. You just kind of like mute yourself on the word. I go, mother, son of a blueberry. Oh man, I kind of want to take that now. You son of a blueberry.
That's a good one. That's pretty good. For those who are interested in pursuing a radio career or at least have a segment on radio, how should they go about getting started? Oh my gosh.
Okay.
That's a big one.
So here's so what you have to do, right? Because there's a fucking billion podcasters and YouTubers out there, right? So how do you set yourself apart? When you go around and listen to some of these, you're going to see that people are all over the place in quality as far as what they talk about, how they present, and also their quality of their audio and things like that.
Their backdrop.
The backdrop not being clean, not being like, because when you have a backdrop, do you want to see my clothes?
Right.
No, you want to, and people have always said, well, Jess, your backdrop's pretty boring. But you know what? What are you focused on? You're kind of focused on me. But even with Chuck, I'm like, because when I talk to Chuck, I'm like, oh, is that a dragon back there? Is that a certificate? Wonder what those posters are. I can't quite see. Right, right. But I
I've
mean,
had
that's
people ask me about them too.
yeah. What are they?
Well, okay, so um, that up there is Welcome to the Void, CGC.
Nice. I have
Um,
that.
this is the last page from Welcome to the Void,
Oh,
put in
nice.
like a barn style frame. And
Oh, I like
then this right here, you can't see it that well because I have a box in the way, but it's actually a picture of my buddy Link from Belial,
Lyle.
and
Nice.
it was drawn while we were at a in Florida. I had the girl, and I say girl because she was like 15 or 16 at the time.
Yeah, the kid. Yeah.
She had those glasses on, the like blue and pink style glasses, and they were so cute. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I love your glasses. Do you want to trade?" She goes, "Yeah, okay." And I was like, "All right, cool." I started with, dude, I couldn't see shit, but I'm having a blast. We're joking, and so she saw them on me and started drawing Link with those glasses,
Oh, I love
and
that.
I've kept it, and it's been on my wall ever since.
See, that's nice. But
Yeah,
then here's the thing too. But what you guys just saw is I was able to get Chuck talking by asking about things in his background. That is another thing, especially with the shy person. That is going to be really good to do in the
yeah,
pregame. Like, hey, tell me about what you got in the background.
right. Good call.
But the
He
writer.
says should be the writer heavy show, dude. That's hurtful, man. You can't make
I
fat jokes. That's not cool.
think that's what he meant. But I put stuff all even right now.
Yeah.
Right now. Even right now, all the time. But Wendy was saying, how do you get, how do you get on there? What I did and what you can do is submit your work to, these radio stations and send a demo, and that's kind of the best way and just send it and hope for the goddamn best.
Well, like, how did Fringe notice you?
So for the Fringe FM, they were looking for a new news person. And I had a friend who was a regular listener, somebody who had listened to Multiverse Maidens. And he said, "Hey, Jess, the Fringe FM is looking for a news person. Record a demo and send it in." And because I have a cool voice, they say, my radio voice is
Mm-hmm.
cool. So I sent it in. And Joe was like, oh my God, Jess, like you have a great voice. I would love it if you did the news for the station. And I did for about almost 2 years before I did it for a year before I got my show. And here's the thing too, guys, I worked hard for it. And I think, and you do have to expect hard work. I, created 5 news segments a week, and versus a live show, you have to do post-production on it. That means editing and adding music to it and making sure all the audio levels are balanced. So it's a lot of work, but I busted my ass doing this for a year. I finally got my show, and I got an hour show, and I busted my ass so I could get a 2-hour show. And then I busted my ass, and now I have a 5-night-a-week show.
Yeah.
This isn't, because I'm going to tell you, there are shows that are freaking awesome out there that they'll just be like, hell yeah, if you have a big following. But I'm talking like from somebody like me who Chuck knows where I came from. Chuck watched me come up,
Mm-hmm.
I but so for somebody like me, just a normal person, you just got to bust your fucking ass. Hard work pays off. Be consistent and just your quality. This is your work. Whatever you produce, that is what you made. That is your child. That is your baby out there. So, all I can say is, do the best work you can. And then, it will get recognized if you put it out there. A lot of people are going to have hundreds of thousands of followers. I'm not there. I don't have that. I have like a little bit over 1,000 on YouTube, like, and that's after freaking like lots of years, guys. It takes time.
Yeah.
Time. It takes a lot of time. Some people will move up fast, but I believe it's a marathon. This isn't a sprint. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to just make money. I'm trying to build something here.
Well, and there are the obvious ways to kind of, like the obvious things that you could do to try to get a bunch of followers, but it's like a lot of times I don't want to. That's not the kind of show I want to do. I don't want to do that. I don't want to
Oh,
write those kinds of books, or
yeah.
whatever it is. Yeah,
Because like you can be clickbaity as fuck if you want. That'll get you the clicks. You want to be like,
yeah,
oh, how to do this? What is this? And you can do that. You can go out there and really do that and do the algorithm tricks and like just go look at Google Trends, see what people are talking about, do the popular things. You can do that, but like me and Chuck, we're more like we're doing this because we love it
hmm
and because we feel like it does something for people. It helps people share their work or kind of learn something new. That me and Chuck have always been like this. It's always been
yeah,
and I'm going to puff up Chuck here because Chuck, I know, is very kind and very supportive to people coming up in the comics, and helping people with their Kickstarters and looking at people's books. And he is somebody who really puts back into his community, and that means something. So on his show he's doing the same thing. He's giving back to the community, and it helps him, it helps other people, and that's the point of it all, right? Just helping each other to do what you want to
yeah.
do. I remember when Chuck was like, I'm going to be an editor, Jess. I'm going to be an editor. And I'm like, how are you going to do it, Chuck? Chuck's like, I'm just going to fucking do it. I'm going to set my rates. I'm going to fucking do it. And I was still just doing my show, just like all free, not knowing what the fuck I was doing, just fucking doing you. He's like, Chuck, I don't know what to. He's like, you just do it, Jess. You just do it. And so I kept doing it until just this fucking year finally fucking happened.
Well, and that's it. You just you keep pushing, you keep moving
Push.
forward. Building something is the key. No, it's absolutely, Sylvain. Just yeah, you keep up with it, and I think people notice when you do actually give a fuck. Like
Yeah.
they do notice when you care about what you're talking about. They do stick around. Are my numbers anything ridiculous or amazing? No, but I'll tell you, in comparison to a lot of the other people in this pool who are doing what I do, my numbers are actually pretty fucking solid. And that's because I do genuinely give a shit. And I've told people all the time, this does nothing for me. It does nothing for my writing career. It does nothing for my editing career. Like, it really does almost nothing for this. This is me giving back to the community that has done tons for me. I mean, I'm about to hit you guys up for a month for money to push my book, and that sucks. I hate having to do that, but here's me giving back. I'll still do my every Tuesday. We're on, what is it, tonight?
We're at
You
80.
realize you're episode 80.
Can you? I mean, that's amazing, Chuck. Do you know most podcasts and shows, they don't make it to even 100? They don't. Most of them burn out before then. But making it to 80, you're going to be at 20. I mean, 20 more in no time. You're going to hit that
Oh, yeah.
100.
Steph says, I get paid to be in the audience.
Oh,
You don't get
see.
paid near enough, I'm sure, buddy. Joe, good to see you, man. Joe's another guy. He's got his own show. He does that. Trust Your Guts. Yes. Yeah. There are YouTube reactors that will see which bands get the most clicks for reaction videos and then start reacting to those bands to rebuild their subscribers. It works, but it's not on it. Yes.
Yeah. See, it depends. Like, because there's people who are just trying to build really fast so they can get their channels monetized, which you can do. And, that's something I can tell people too, which I know how to do. But you don't want to sell your soul, do you? Unless you want to sell your soul. I'm not ready to sell my soul. I just want to do this, and I know, like, here's what Chuck's saying. I could have like 150,000 followers, right? But I'd rather have a good core group of people that that I like, my listeners. Like, I know all of their names, and I know a little bit about, like, Sylvain. Sylvain is a good listener, and he's a friend, and we've talked a lot. We've talked offline. We talk about movies. We talk about TV shows. I know what he does for work. He knows when I've gone on vacation. Like, this is the relationship that I have with my listeners. Like, I talk to them. We have a Discord for the show, and so that's, yeah. And what's great is my Discord is not very big. I just restarted it because I do have a lot of very shy people that don't want to talk in a big Discord. But it being nice and small, it allows the shy people to talk and be comfortable.
Sweet.
And I think that's really important because we
Yeah.
have this whole chat room on YouTube, right? And people can chat on YouTube, but the Discord is more for, people who don't really want to go there and type everything for everybody to see, but they still want to be in the conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. It's but so Brian says the consistency is incredibly key. A listener knowing when and where they'll be able to settle down somewhere and listen to a podcast they enjoy helps incredibly with engagement and keeping listeners around. And you're dead right.
Yep.
I
We talked
I
about
used
this.
to yeah.
Consistent.
I used to do the reviews whenever. I don't
Yep.
do the reviews almost now at all. Like I'll still pick one up and do it now and then, but I do them very rarely because there was no consistency to it. But this, it's every fucking Tuesday. So I'm always here. It's always happening. I always try to do it around the same time, but I even tell guests, I'm like, look, you're on a different coast, you're somewhere else. We need to change it by a couple hours to help you out to a point. I
Yeah.
can't do a hell of a lot later. Like I couldn't come on midnight at my time and do it for an hour because that might be better for you, but my listeners are probably fucking asleep by then
Yeah.
or going to bed. Yeah,
Yeah, no, I mean, for me, yeah, no, because honestly, before I got into the station, I was horrible with my consistency. I was very bad with it because it was like, well, nobody cares. I'll go on at noon. I'll go on at 7. Who the fuck cares? But, once I started building, because that's where my audience started to really build, was when my consistency built when I started doing my Wednesday shows. And then it went to 2 hours. So then people knew where to find me. So now every night, people know if they turn on the Fringe FM at 11 p.m. Pacific, they're going to hear this nice, warm voice right before they go to bed.
so you go on at 11 and you're on for 2 hours.
I am. And
So
it's 11 p.m. Pacific. So that's 1 a.m. Chuck time.
to start and then till 3 a.m. Okay,
You know what?
I'm gonna be loopy, but it'll be great.
Oh, that's the best part. People are so looped. That is where the realness comes out. You get the weird stories. People are tired. Like I get tired by 12:30. Sometimes I'm a little tired, so I'm gonna learn to time my coffee a little better. But yeah, you get a little loopy there towards the end. I'm getting used to it. I feel bad for East Coasters who come on. I don't get a lot of East Coasters because it's
Yeah,
it's 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. for them. So they're like, yeah, Jess. And I'm like, that's okay. I'm sorry. But West Coast, anywhere from Central over,
yeah.
works pretty
Do
well.
you have you ever had to say like pre-record an episode so that you could get some right coasters on?
There's only a couple people that I'll pre-record, and they have to kind of be A-listers, honestly. Like it
Oh yeah,
has to be Tommy. Like Tommy will. You think I can get Tommy on at 11 p.m.?
right.
Tommy, no. Tommy's like, you want to do this at 9 a.m. And I'm like, no, Tommy, no, Tommy. Can we do it after lunch? Like, I don't want to do it that early.
I want you at your best, but I want me at mine too. Like,
Yeah, I don't want to be like, but these A-listers I will, just because, and this isn't for everybody, this is just for me. It's because we do 6 hours of live talk every night on the Fringe FM starting at 7 p.m. Pacific with Michael Strange and Troubled Minds, and then we go into Joe Roop with Lighting the Void at 9, and then it ends with me at 11 p.m. till 1 a.m. So it's live talk, so that's why it's only really A-listers, or somebody I just really want to talk to. But I've only done it for David Icke and Tommy Chong.
so with Tommy, did you get the chance to smoke with him?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yes.
Oh, hell yeah. Dude, that guy is so freaking chill and dope. Like, when I talked to him last time, like his little grandbaby was walking around and he's like, oh, it's my granddaughter, and I'm like, oh, he's like, she wants to hang out with grandpa, but grandpa's got to do an interview. And he's like, I'm on the radio. It was just this cute little kid.
Oh,
But like, like I've talked to him twice now, and he's just fucking down to earth dude, man. Down to earth. The person, like, he's so kind and nice. Like, it's hard for me to think of another big person I would interview, because I was like, he's pretty fucking great. Like, who else could I interview?
I was gonna ask, like, what would your bucket list look like? That attainable bucket list, like someone you think, if I shot my dart at this, I might be able to get them. what would that even look like to you?
Yeah, no, that's hard because too, like now because you know me, I'm also like me and Chuck also bond because I'm a pop culture nerd too. Like I'm a
Mhm.
movie nerd, I'm a TV show nerd. So I've started doing these fringe culture nights where I bring on, a guest and we talk about like movies, and a lot of the times I have a co-host called Night Stalker and we do pop culture-y stuff and we tie it to fringy stuff. So that would allow me to speak to more filmmakers, right? So so in my like wish list, right? I think I would like to talk to I'd like to talk to John Carpenter before he dies. I would like to because I'm kind of a horror nerd, like a horror sci-fi nerd. So I think those are fringy enough. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
doing a director would be fun. I'd like to do Kevin Smith, honestly. I think he would be just a
Oh
shit
my
ton of
gosh.
fun. Could you imagine? I'm gonna. I feel like I will try for Smith. I'm just gonna try it one day. I'm like, yo, Kevin Smith.
But he's in like full vegan mode now. Hitting him with the plant life thing, and he's a big pothead too. Like you could totally fucking score him on that level because it is something that he probably doesn't get to talk to about as much. So actually, I think that's super attainable for you if you use
Yeah,
that side.
yeah. I have to use an angle because, like,
Yeah.
there's always got to be. You have to tell them your angle too. Like, I'm trying because, like Tommy, right? Tommy's like, well, you're a paranormal show. I'm like, yeah, but I want to hear about like your spiritual journey too, and I got to hear that. I guess
That's so
as an
cool.
example. Yeah.
Yeah. Stuff's like this one was a train wreck since episode one. Everyone loves to watch a good wreck. Okay, that's the only reason NASCAR's a fucking thing.
It's like trash. No, but no, I love Chuck's show. Chuck's always bringing on different people, and just a really
I,
warm host and make people comfortable.
I mean, like I said, I think that's the interviewers that I most enjoy are the ones that do that, that take that seem to take good care of their guests, and so that's something that I try to do too. And I mean, I've even seen that in you. You've always taken really great pains to make sure everyone feels super comfortable when they're on their show, and that we're gonna have a great time, and it's all. I think that's another thing is that it's all about the show. Like it's all
Yeah,
about you need to have a good time, I need to have a good time, and they have a need to have a good time. And as long as we can get that trifecta, I don't give a shit where we go or how we get there.
yeah. And the funnest thing about this is having the interaction with the guest or the host, and having the audience be a part of it too in live time. I think that is very interactive for people, and it's a lot of fun. That's what I always say. I was trying to tell people, like, this is a casual show. Have fun. This isn't freaking like this isn't the news. This is us talking. This is me getting to know you. This is me like
Yeah,
trying to share your story with people.
yeah. No, absolutely. I feel you. Joe says I'm over 100 episodes on YouTube, and I'm happy that I have the few that makes it an interactive show. Not bad for a little over 160 subs. I think that's great, dude.
That's great. That's what I say. As it does, like, if you had, would you rather have like 300 people in the chat room not saying shit, or would you rather have a handful of people that are interactive? I would rather have a handful of people
Yeah,
that are interactive.
yeah. I'd rather have a fuck ton of Brian Manells than I would a bunch of Steph Wilsons. Oh, I'm killing her. Actually, Brian Manell says he's got to head out soon, but I got one question. Not sure if this was asked yet. What do you usually enjoy doing in your downtime outside of podcasts? Do you kick butt in Fortnite like Chuck does? Do you go bug the cemetery residents to get selfies with ghosts?
I did. Honestly, I smoke a lot of.
It's the show. Go ahead.
Okay, I smoke, but to be fair, I have a chronic illness, and that's why I smoke. So, but no, I
Well,
do. I
that's
have
a reason, to be fair.
a reason just to support it, right? But no, actually, what I like to do in my spare time is like I said, I'm a big movie nerd. I'm a big TV show nerd. I like to watch after I watch these things, then I watch the breakdowns, and then I like read about them online. So, so other than like doing the kind of fringy stuff, it's movies and TV.
And you and I will do that. We'll talk. We'll be like, oh shit, what'd you think of Mandalorian? What'd you think of this? Like we'll like go back and forth on so many of this. Dude, I'm honestly I'm at the point where I'm so fucking busy I can't afford to watch new things. So I'm just doing a lot of rewatches of stuff because it just like I find it's there. I can just have it
Have it
there,
on.
get stuff down, and enjoy it. And I find it just takes so much of the anxiety away because I know what's coming. I don't feel like I have to pay attention to it or worry about it. It's just
Yeah.
there.
You know, that makes you feel like old TV. Remember old TV where we just have it on and it was like whatever was on. So you might have seen
Yeah.
that episode like 50 times or that movie 100 times, but it's just playing. Like that was the best, Chuck. Just that time. Like
Uh,
you learned to watch things. Like you had to watch things because you had no choice.
It's so funny. I was talking with my kid because in order to charge my phone right now, the actual charging port is fucked up. So in order to charge it, I had to get a wireless charger, which is so cool. So we're driving today. I'm driving my kid to the doctor's appointment, and it's charging on this wireless charger. And they were just like, "Holy crap, that is so cool! That's a thing." And I was like, "Yeah, it cost me like $15. Like it's
Nice.
really nothing." Yeah, and they were like, "Oh, that's so neat." And I was like, "I love that you're getting excited about these technological things because you have no idea where I came from. Like when I was a little boy, and this is gonna sound like I'm 100, but I'm not.
Not just
I'm an
before
'80s
the turn
kid,
of the century.
right? I was born in '79, so '80s kid and whatnot. But we lived in a farm out in the middle of fucking nowhere. We had one of those big towers off the side of our house that we you connected your TV to because there was no cable out there. We got 4 channels, but you only got those 4 channels by knowing how to put the
Like
rabbit ears and how to aim everything exactly. Um, our TV, we did have a TV in our room, me and my brothers, but it was black and white.
yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, like I said, you only had 4 channels, and so I've gone from that to I'm watching everything on this little phone device, and I'm talking to my friend in California. Yeah, exactly.
Right?
And I'm talking to hundreds of people out there and all over the world. Like it's fucked up.
Like, isn't
Okay,
it nuts?
no one knows how to use a VCR, so that doesn't mean shit, Steph. Fuck you.
No, it's the technology. Like the kids today don't know because we went through like all the things we went through. We had the VHS, then it went to the DVD, then it went to HD or whatever. What was it, Blu-rays, and then it went to
Yeah.
well, now everything's just on your phone.
Yep.
It's it's insane. I forgot how we got here, but it's insane. It's insane that oh, we were talking about watching cable on TV, but yeah, what it's just everything is on demand now, even these shows. So I guess I have another tip for you guys because I don't know how much longer Chuck wants to go, but I do have. Yeah, we're good. We're good. I think we're good
I'm
for a
having a
little.
good time if you are.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Um, but my tip too is if you guys watch Chuck's show, you realize you'll see in the beginning like he has a great intro and he comes in with a lot of energy. And that is really, really important to come in with a lot of energy. You might not be able to find an Eric Cockrell to do a fancy intro. Like I don't have an Eric Cockrell intro, and I've been his friend for a long time too. And
Yeah.
he's never done one for me. But when I have one from Eric Cockrell with a nice logo from Eric, you know,
We got to
and,
make it happen now. I'm going to talk to him.
and Eric, have you seen my logo? I'm sure it hurts you to look at it. It's so bad. Hint, hint.
Brian, much love to you. Take care, buddy. Have a good night.
Great to meet you, Brian. But you know, I come in strong. I got like a fancy, like kind of like a sci-fi kind of 80s like kind of theme that comes on, and then it's like fun. It brings the energy up, you know, right before I come on. I come on, I'm like I'm broadcasting live, you know, I come in with a strong voice because nobody wants to hear you say, "Hi, welcome to my show. My name is Chuck. We talk about comic books here. Good stuff.
We have this friend. Wendy and I have this friend who does YouTube stuff. And this is a dead on. This is
This is what they do.
today. I would like to talk to you about this comic. Really happy. And actually, I'm high energy, just so you're aware. Like, I'm a little energetic, but it's lower than that.
That guy had.
He talks really slow, and I love the guy. He's so nice, and it just like it's not there. Like, and that's the sad thing. Sometimes you did turn it to 11, and your 11 is everybody else's 3. Like that's the problem. So I can honestly tell you, sorry guys, my 11 is probably a lot of other people's 200. You know what I mean? Like I have a lot of energy, so I don't know how to tell you. Fuck, let's go do this. All I can do is tell you, do it. Like just get out there and do it.
Yeah, just do it. No, and you just have to. And you might feel stupid, but the thought is that you're talking to your friend, especially as the host. You kind of want to make it feel like they're talking to a friend. And a lot of the times it might be your friend. So when you talk to your friend, you're hopefully a little more animated. So just try to bring that energy of thinking like, this is just a person, even if it's Tommy Chong or like David Icke or some Harvard professor, or if it's just some guy that just wrote a comic, and he just wants to get the word out. The thing is, too, regardless of a big guest or of a little guest, too, always treat them with a lot of respect and, make them feel comfortable, regardless of where they are, or the number of followers or whatever, know.
Yeah. Now, it's funny. You and I earlier, you were talking about getting the big guests and how to get the big guests. Tom actually has a really good question. How do you get their contact info?
Okay, so the first you find these people you want to talk to, and the best thing to do is look for them on social media. A lot of people have Facebooks, but you don't really want to hit them up on Facebook, especially like I get hit up sometimes, and it really irks me because it'll be like, yo, I want to go on your show, or hey, you should really talk to me, And to me, that turns me off immediately because I'm like, whoa, this person doesn't have any respect for boundaries. This is my private personal account or something.
Like all the time.
All the time.
Preach. Oh, yeah. Keep it up.
So so don't do that. Don't be like, yo, come on my show, or I want to come on your show. So I've started this new thing and I announce it. Oh, I figure I'll announce it tonight too. But I say, if you want to come on the show, a lot of people ask me how. I say, do not send me a message on social media. I'm not going to check it. I might not see it. It's going to get buried. Send me an email. And then I say my email address. And I said, tell me what you want to talk about. Give me your links. Like, do some of the work because you're the one coming on the show. Don't be like, yo, you got to present to me what you want to present. Not like I had this dude the other day that just sent me a picture of, I don't know if it was supposed to be a UFO or a portal or something, but it just, whatever. I get a lot of pictures, right? And he's like, yo, we need to talk. And I was like, hi, can you tell me a little bit about these pictures? I have no idea what we're talking about, and he just sends me a link. And to which I was like, okay, so he can't even engage with me this much. He's not going to be a good guest. Yeah. 9 times out of 10, that person that reaches out to you is going to be a shit guest.
Yeah.
You're going to find, and so I'll get back to the question, but my point with this is like, you're going to find that diamond sometimes. Like I have a lot of people reach out and a lot of the people I don't, contact back. But, I contacted back one girl and she turned out to be a great guest. I contacted a different person and they turned out to be not so good of a guest. You know what I mean? So it's really hit or miss. And this is my lesson I learned, even though I've been doing this for years too, is that, sometimes you might just take a guest because you're like, whatever, I need a guest. And then you put yourself in a situation where your quality of what you're doing isn't good because of you just saying I needed to fill that time. So as a live host, what I say is it would have been better for me to just not have a guest that night and just have gone on by myself. versus having somebody on that didn't really fit my brand, that wasn't really somebody I would normally talk to, and just because there was a hole. So just, your audience, like your listeners and people in the chat, they're part of the show. So bring them in, have them be part of your show. Even here, like,
We have a kitten.
hello, what is your name?
Oh my gosh. So my kid named him Onion,
Onion, hello.
which I think is a dumb name. So I call him Oni because he's a little demon.
Oni, hello. You look like you have half a mustache. Is that
He
what's
does
going
have half a mustache. I was like, can we call him Hitler? But no one was good with that.
Can I tell you the truth, Chuck? I saw the picture and I was like, Kelly goes, look at Chuck's new cat. I said, is his name Hitler? And she goes, no.
See? You knew I was going to go right there. And then when he's like, we can't call him Hitler, I was like, Chaplin? Like, whatever.
That's horrible. But look, he's so cute though. I saw it and I did say that immediately. So I was like, Chuck, I thought of the same damn thing.
I've literally been sleeping wrapped around my little phone stand.
It's probably warm. How old is he? He's just like 4 or 5 months? No, is that?
Yeah, someone. Wendy, how many months old is? Yeah, 4.
Oh yeah, it's. I'm getting good with cats. I didn't used to be.
Do you have any?
No, my sister has 2 though, so I'm a cat aunt. So
okay, because I know you're a dog person.
Yes, I wish I had the new one to show you right now, but he's in the other room. He's Loki, the puppy of chaos.
Is that his actual name is Loki?
Or yeah, his name is Loki. We don't know if he's just the puppy variant or if he's just a puppy of chaos. He might just be a variant.
I'm excited either way. That's fun.
I guess after we get off, I'm just gonna have to run and grab him.
Right?
Because you can't catch him. He's Loki. You can't really catch him. But back to the question. I'm sorry, guys, I drifted.
Yeah.
But the best way is just to keep looking around. If they have a website, generally they have. This is the best way. Go to the contact page of this person's website, especially a big person. They're going to have a contact page. The bigger the person, like we're talking, like if you're talking about a celebrity, you're probably going to be talking to an agent. Be very polite because it's their agent. And and if you're genuine, then you might get through. Now you have to realize sometimes people are just going to say no, or they're just going to flat out ignore you. I've had people tell me, well, you don't have enough listeners. You don't have enough this for me to come on your show. You know what I mean? So you are going to get rejected. But you know what? This is what someone told me. They're like, so they reject your email. It's not like you're sitting there being like, hey, would you come on my show? And they say no to your face. It's just an email.
Well, and what's nice is knowing that it is the it's their agent or whatever. It means you weren't rejected by them. You were rejected by
the agent. Yeah, and that'll happen too. So, and some people will say, and they'll be nice. They'll be like, "Oh, why don't you contact me later?" They're kind of blowing you off, So it's okay. It's okay. You just move on. Not everybody, and especially. But here's the thing. If you see your person that you want, like they're going on Rogan or they're going on a couple other shows, and you can say, well, it looks like they're kind of doing shows. So then you can, kind of reach out to them because they're doing podcasts.
Yeah.
That helps too. But don't be like, oh, I saw you on this show. Just, be genuine about how you know them. Like if I were to write Smith, I would tell him like how much I enjoyed his movies growing up and how I've kind of stalked him over the years and I've seen him several times in person. Oh, maybe not. Or maybe I wouldn't say that. You know what I mean? That last part.
I don't know. I mean, send a picture, then tell him you're stalking, and he'd be like, oh, yeah, I'll get stalked by her. Yeah. You know what you should do is get a picture of you stalking him. Like, just like a selfie of him, like, at the grocery store, and you're like,
well, because he goes hiking at this one place that he always selfie. I'm just going to, like, pop out of the bush, and I'll be like, Kevin Smith!
Do my show! Fuck! He has another heart attack, poor dude.
No! And then they're like, podcaster kills Kevin Smith. My guys. I can't pop out of the bush at him.
Oh, all right. So that idea, we'll scrap that one. But we're trying, folks. We're trying.
But I've done crazy things to try to get close to people.
Oh, I bet.
I guess, like, I don't know if you want me to share the story, other tactics. There are other tactics for getting
I'm
guests.
listening.
So these are pre-COVID tactics. Now a lot of things are done on the internet, but as things are opening up, I'm going to suggest to, like, say you're into comics, like I know a lot of your listeners are. So go to the damn conventions where
Mhm.
these people that, if you can afford it, go to the damn conventions, talk to people. That is where I made a lot of connections. And that is a really, really big tip. Go there, talk to people, make friends, go up to the table, even if it's a big writer or something, make a connection, be like, hey, I'm so and so. Other people might be doing it, but you're genuine. You really want to talk to them. That's going to make it the difference. I'll do
Yeah,
it on your time. Whatever you let me know what your schedule is. Somebody, a big person, that's how you're going to have to be.
you know what, Jess? I think you just pulled out a story that I have not told my listeners yet. Are you ready for this?
Please, please.
Okay. I went to C2E2 earlier last month, which was absolutely amazing. And my all-time favorite writer is Chris Claremont. He did
Goodness.
X-Men for over 16 years, like in a row. The guy basically created most of the characters that I have loved for years and years, and I love his style. I love everything he's done. Like, just humongous fan. And I've spoken to several friends who are like, "Look, dude, he's he's tough, man. Like, talking to him, he's a nice enough guy, but he's more interested in the stuff he's doing now. He's not
Mm,
interested in you going over there and sucking his dick or anything like that." So
mhm.
I was like, so maybe I just shouldn't talk to them. I'm like, no, you got to have your moment. You have to go and say it because you got to get it out of your system. But
Yeah.
you also need to go into it understanding that he might not give a shit.
Yeah.
And I see, oh, here comes some X-Men stories. Yes, yeah. Don't worry, the X-Men don't really come up much. They just did in that it's him. So I've been at several shows with him already, and just I haven't pulled the trigger. And we're at this one, and he's so easy to walk up to and talk to at this one, and I'm still like, I don't know if I'm gonna do it. And several people asked me like, are you gonna have your Chris Claremont moment? And I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know. And I'll tell you guys before this starts. This is us learning from our failures. It is both a failure and
Mhm.
it is a victory. This story. So you guys, hopefully, you guys take something from this. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Have no clue. And as the weekend moves on, we get into Saturday, and I think, nah, fuck it. I'm not gonna do it, man. I think I don't know if I'm ever gonna do this. And me, my buddy Henri, and my buddy Doug, we're walking out. It's the end of the night, Saturday night. We're walking to go meet up with some people, and or no, actually, yes, sir, it was Friday. We're walking out, and we see our other buddy Don, who is walking and talking with Chris fucking Claremont, and immediately I'm like, oh no, and because I know Henri gets excited, and he goes, holy shit, Don is chatting with Chris Claremont, and I was like, yep, yeah, he is, and like, I should be the most excited, and I am the least, because I know I'm about to have my moment, whether I like it or not.
It's gonna happen. Hey, my
It's
friend Chuck.
it's happening right now, and I don't. There's nothing I can do about it. So, and it wasn't even that. Henri darts over and he's like, "Holy shit, Don, what's going on? Chris Claremont, blah blah blah." And I'm like, "Okay, hey guys, what's up?"
Yeah.
And I walk over,
You
and
walked over?
we're walking and talking, and I am uncharacteristically silent.
Oh shit.
I have nothing to say. I'm not prepared for this. I don't know what to do. Fuck, 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 fuck. I'm just, how am I going to handle this? And my brain is processing. I'm listening, but my brain is processing. How do you deal with this situation? And as my brain is processing and everyone's talking and stuff, and I'm trying to figure it out, suddenly I find I am on an escalator by myself. My friends are like 3 steps behind me and right beside me, right fucking beside me. Literally, I can reach out and touch him. Chris Claremont. It's just him and I. And I'm like, you know what, man? You gotta. This is it. You don't have another shot. You have to do something. So I look over at him, and Steph is gonna laugh his balls off. I can feel it. I look over at him, and I said, "Mr. Claremont, I just got to tell you, I am a huge fan of your work. I love what you do, and you've been a massive inspiration in my own career. I just wanted to thank you so much." He turns and looks right past me, and he says, "Oh, it looks like the FedEx is closed."
Did he not hear you?
I didn't know, but sure enough, yes, the Federal Express is closed. And I'm like, what the fuck do I do with that? Like, he just completely fucking. And there's no way. Here's the problem. I could bring it up again. I could say, hey, man, I love you. But if he heard me, then I look like a massive. Then he'll be like, yeah, I heard you the first time. And I'm a fucking moron. So I was like, that's it. You failed, fucker. Walk away. And so that was it. I failed. And I'll tell you guys, there was something amazing about that failure. Because as soon as I failed, I was like, great. I was Chuck again. It was me. It was 1,000. Like, I was right back into my skin. There was no worry. There was no fear. There was none of that shit. He had burned me in the biggest way. I love you and everything you do. Oh, the FedEx is closed.
It is closed.
Holy shit.
That's
So now I'm walking with Henri and Doug. They've caught up to me. And I turn to them and I'm like, dude, I just had my Chris Claremont moment. And it was a massive fucking failure. And Henri loudly says, whoa, you have a Chris Claremont story? Guess who overhears him? Chris Claremont. Chris goes, what? You have a Chris? Someone has a Chris Claremont story? At that point, I realized, motherfucker, you're 10 feet away. If you heard him, you definitely heard me.
You fucking heard me say that shit, motherfucker. You heard it from way over there.
I was like, holy fuck. And now, like, please don't make me tell this story. It is a fresh wound in my fucking chest that is open and coursing out blood. And so, Henri, being the great guy he is, Chris has kind of called him out. He goes, oh, somebody has a Chris Claremont story? He goes, if it's from the old days, it's probably true. And we get a little chuckle out of that. Like, that's funny. And then immediately Henri's like, no, we were just talking about how great you are, how wonderful you are, how much we love your work. And immediately I'm like, no, dude. Like, I'm in my head, I'm like, no. He does not want to fucking hear this shit. He does not give a fuck how you feel about him. It does not register. It does not matter. He's heard it 1,000,000 times. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
So in my brain, my quick-witted brain, I'm like, no, you got to shut this shit down. So I look over at Henri, or I look past Henri over to Chris Claremont, who, again, I've looked up to for years as a god, and now he's just a dude because the guy fucking stabbed me in the chest. So I look over to him and I said, hey, Chris, could you do me a favor? Could you just wipe that brown off of Henri's nose? Everybody starts fucking laughing.
Nice.
Chris Claremont chuckles, and I'm like, I won. I'm not saying another fucking word to that dude ever again.
You're done.
And that was the victory that I took from it.
Yeah, I did. I like it.
The next night, we're hanging out with Eric, and Eric goes over to talk with a bunch of people who, sure enough, are also talking to Chris Claremont. So we're trying to find out where to go for dinner, and I walk over, and I was like, Eric, what are you doing? He's like, I'm going to have my Chris Claremont moment. Do you want to hang out? He's like, well, and he's already heard the story multiple times.
He's like, fuck it.
He knows he knows that the FedEx is fucking closed. And so he's like, no, I think I'm going to have my Chris Claremont moment. And I was like, he goes, do you want to hang out and talk? I was like, oh, no. I already got my victory. I'm never talking to that fucking dude again. And I walked away. I walked away from the dude who, as a writer, has meant the most to me in the world. I was like, I'm not doing this. And that was that story. And I'll probably never speak to him again because I got to end on a high note. He laughed at my joke. That's it.
But I tell you this, Chuck, this is the thing, and I'll tell you guys this. Never meet your heroes never put anyone never because when Chuck asked me that, right? I used to be like, "Oh, there's people I'd really love to talk to." But there's actually there's certain people that I'd enjoy talking to, but for me now, it's more about finding that diamond in the rough. Somebody who is somebody people might not know, or somebody who's kind of smaller known, because these are the people that are real and genuine too. Those are the, there could be these motherfuckers that are working their asses off, but people don't really know about them. So why
And
not?
they haven't gotten the chance to get jaded yet either. Like they get to be a little more genuine and truly
Oh,
love what's going on. Yeah.
that's what it is. That's why I like finding these people, because they're not jaded. I
Yeah.
myself became jaded, especially with doing the UFOs for so long, because I'd
Mm.
heard so much of the same shit over and over and over for 4+ years.
Well, and
Ghost.
you knew a lot of the big wigs in that
Oh
community
yeah.
too. You
Oh,
hobnobbed with a lot of them.
no, that's why I'm John Stewart, because if I played into it, I'd probably be pretty, not to be, but I was there at the point where I could have like really took off if I played the UFO game, because I knew a lot of people. I really did know people. Like I've talked to Lou Elizondo, the guy who like was on Unidentified, who helped get those Navy videos released. I've talked to a lot of people, like high up people, scientists, freaking MUFON people, people who've experienced thing. I've talked to military that have experienced thing. I've talked to fighter jet pilots who have seen things. I've been inside, and I know
You've
a
had
lot
the
of
CIA jump in on your conversations.
CIA, and I've been looked into by the DOD, by people who are in the DOD. How do I know? Because they checked my LinkedIn page and there was no reason for this person to be checking my LinkedIn page except for what I talked about. So, you know what I mean? So I've talked to a lot of the big people. I have a lot of friends that are, creators in the community. I was at a point that I could, like I said, I could John Stewart it, but I did John Stewart it instead because I have no love. I mean, I'm sorry, and I tell people this. I'm sorry, I just don't have love for it. Number one, because I've never seen a damn UFO, so I'm like, I don't know. I don't really have any. I have no stake in the game. I've never seen an alien. It's just there's nothing there for me.
It was neat.
It was neat. It was neat. I got on like this. Okay, Chuck. So like I like sci-fi, right? So I just really went hard into UFOs. I was like, if science fiction is real, let me go into this. And then it's like paranormal, right? Well, if horror movies are real, then we can go look at this. Like that's how I kind of like jumped into these things, but now it's changed. It's like maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Lots of people see ghosts, they're probably real. But yeah,
Yeah.
there's only so much you can pull at there before you're like, yeah, there's ghosts, or yeah, there's probably UFOs, or not.
So you've been so fucking helpful. You've been absolutely amazing. Why don't you tell everyone? Because I think we're gonna start wrapping up soon. We're getting close to 2 hours.
I
I've
know,
taken
I
up so
know.
much time, and
I have a
you still
show.
have a show tonight, don't you?
I have a show tonight. So after we do this, I'm gonna make a cup of coffee and get my notes together. Which I'm telling you guys, prep, prep, prep. But yeah, you guys can catch me actually at 11 p.m. Pacific tonight, or 1 a.m. Central, depending on where you guys are. But I am on at 11 p.m. Pacific. You can catch me right here on YouTube. I have a channel. It's called The Jess Rogge Show also. But I do prefer if you listen on the fringe.fm. That way you guys get my numbers up. We also have a great Discord chat. And like I said, it's good for shy. Even the Fringe FM Discord is bigger, but it's better for shy people who don't want to be on YouTube. So you have both places to chat if you're shy, or if you hate YouTube, if you want to see my face, or if you just want to listen. But two, I don't turn the camera on all the time. Sometimes it's just just my little icon.
Yeah.
But every night, Monday through Friday, 11 p.m. Pacific, here on YouTube or on the Fringe FM, I talk about everything. So it's a lot of fun.
Guys, if you have any questions, oh, what?
I was going to say, oh, yes. And thank you, Chuck, so much for having me on it. I had a ball.
I'm so glad to do it. Look at this. FYI, the FedEx is closed. Yeah, see? Now I'm going to get hit with that one. Say, and Tom's gonna watch. Good, Tom. Good. By the
Oh,
way, Tom, I see that you do comic book reviews. Hit me up. I would love it if you checked out Belial, which is on Kickstarter tomorrow. I'd love to talk about that or have you check it out. That would mean the world to me. If not, I understand you're busy, but if you do have the time, I would love to throw that your way. No big deal. But yeah, so we're gonna check you out, and I guess I'm gonna hang out with you this Friday.
yeah, you're coming on Friday night. So if you guys listen live Friday night at 11 p.m. Pacific, we'll be here on YouTube and we'll be live on the Fringe FM. Chuck will be joining me and taking calls. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about Belial and how we kind of came up with the story for that, because it's a little demony.
Yeah,
It's a little demony, and that's pretty fringy, and people love that.
and that's right. There are some great covers on Belial. There's some absolutely amazing ones, and Steph did a cover. Fuck you.
Come listen to Chuck not curse for 2 hours on live radio. That's the thing.
That's really gonna be the treat.
It's gonna be your picture. I'm gonna put the little censored thing on it.
It should. Oh yes.
Or should we do like the thing where it's like the cursing letters, but it's in a black box?
I'm all about that. I'm so good with that. Yeah. I'm very good with that. I would love that. That's hilarious. No, Jess, I love hanging out with you. Thank you so much. I love you, hon.
I love you too, Chuck.
Oh.
This was a ball. This is a ball. If I didn't have to do my show, I would sit here with you for the rest of the night.
So, guys, she has now explained to you how to properly track someone down. So, if you have any questions about being a better interviewer, you know how to properly ask her. You can hit her up. You can, like she said, there's a contact me page. You can contact her, tell her you saw her on the show, and that you have some more questions. I'm sure she's willing to answer and to help you out however she can. Oh, Sylvain had a great shot. Thank you, Sylvain. I'm so glad you enjoyed yourself, man. Guys, thank you, Jess. It was great. We're going to have a terrific week, and then I'll be back here next week again for another great show. I think my partner in Belial, Sean Barbour, is going to be here. We're going to talk a lot about Belial over the next month. You're going to hear way more than you want to hear, because that's my job for the next month, is to sell that fucking book.
And if anybody can push a fucking book, it's fucking Chuck. I'm not even like, because I have a lot of your friends like have added me, right? So I watch and I'm like, no, nobody pushes like fucking Chuck.
Thank you. And so, thank you. I treat it like a job, and I think that's something we got to do. So thank you so much, on right? Yeah. Treat it like a job.
It is a job.
Yeah.
And it's your job for you. You're doing it for you. That's the thing. Don't work like you work for other fuckers. Work like you know what I mean? Like some people work harder for other people. Work hard for yourself.
Yeah. That's beautiful. That's a perfect place to end. Thank you so much, guys. I love you guys so much. I really appreciate you guys coming out. Come on back next week. We're going to have so much fun. My name is Chuck, and I give a fuck. Take care.